Hi, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Post Review Friday. If you're new to my channel, I do have a series called Post Review Friday, which is exactly what it sounds like. Most Fridays out of the year, I have a finish to talk to you guys about, and this is where I do that. So I'll talk to you about things that I liked, things that I didn't like, maybe things that could be improved upon, and kind of just my overall enjoyment of the diamond painting. So today we'll be talking about Absinthe from Kurtis Rykovich. This is a dreamerdesigns image. It is a 60 centimeter by 80 centimeter round drill kit. I started this one on September 16th and I finished it on September 24th. This kit came out, I want to say Halloween season 2024. I remember that I picked it up with a Kurtis image that I ended up working on last year called Lady in Black. I'll pop a picture of it up somewhere here for you guys. And it was a real struggle for me to decide which kit I was going to work on. And I ended up choosing that one because I was very into ghosts last year. So I decided that this one was pretty much at the top of my list to work on this Halloween season. And I decided to start a little bit early. So this was not on my original plan for September, but when the time came to work on another kit, this one just stuck out into my brain. And I didn't want to work on something that I didn't really want to work on. I wanted to be working on this one. So that's what I did. I'll go ahead and pop up a full-length image for you guys here. Overall, I do like this image. I tend to usually enjoy the Kurtis Rykovich images that I work on. I'm kind of particular about which ones of his that I work on personally. I like this line where they're a little bit more, I want to say realistic, which I don't know if that's the appropriate word or not. But some of his images are just a little bit more out there than I personally enjoy. And this to me, she just looks like so adorable. Because I know some of his images can lean a little, I want to say creepy, but I feel like that's up for your own personal decision. Like to me, sometimes they lean a little bit creepy. But I just love this one. I think she's beautiful. One thing that I always love about Kurtis's images is the hair. The hair is always so fantastic. And I feel like the eyes and the lips are always just so pretty. So let me move my accessories and drills here. So overall, this kit did not take me a lot. Like it didn't take me a long time. It took me a little bit longer than I was anticipating. I'm not going to lie about that. Particularly this bottom row here. The tattoo on the chest definitely took a lot of time. I would consider this to be the most confetti heavy area on the canvas. So cool. Like I think it came out really, really nice. But it definitely took me a little bit longer than I was anticipating. And that kind of went for like the whole diamond painting. Now, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. This took me just over a week to finish. I thought I would be under a week, which again, it's not a race. The only person I'm competing against is myself, like my own timeline that I have for the month. But I enjoyed most of it. One thing that I will say is I love dreamerdesigns round drills. I have said that for a very long time at this point. I know they recently were redone, if I heard correctly from some of you actually told me that the rounds and the squares were redone. I haven't tried any of those just yet, so I can't speak to the quality of the newer drills, but the older ones, the rounds were definitely my favorite. I did not enjoy their square drills personally. I have worked on kits with both types of drills, but for some reason, these rounds just fit very tight. Like as I was multi-placing, it was just, everything seemed a little bit cramped, and I don't know why. It definitely could have just been me, but I particularly noticed that up top here, in some of these color blocky areas, that the drills, I was just really having to kind of like wiggle my multi-placer around to get everything to lay flat and flush. So just something to mention. Again, these are the older round drills, so things might be different. But I feel like the drills maybe were just sized a tiny bit bigger than I was used to with Dreamer Designs. It's been quite a while since I've worked on a Dreamer Designs painting, so I might just be misremembering, but I did want to point that out to you guys. Also, somewhat unfortunate, in my opinion, is the chin on this diamond painting. Now, if you look at the original artwork, which I would never critique at all, an artist's work is their work, but if you look at her chin, you can see that it's a little bit shaded. I mean, it's, you know, a little bit of a shadow. It's just really extreme on the diamond painting version. Now, this is obviously a bigger scale. This is 60 by 80 centimeters. So her face is definitely bigger, which means that this part of her face is also bigger. I don't know. I just don't love the colors. Now, I definitely could have just continued the pinky colors on her face down. I didn't take the time to do that. This is also a round, so I'm sure some of these colors would poke through in the background. That's probably my only real drawback with the Kurtis Rykovich images from Dreamer Designs is the face always tends to be just a little bit off in my experience. Now, I've worked on 6 or 7 Kurtis images from Dreamer Designs at this point. I have been purchasing his images on and off from Dreamer Designs since he was first signed, and I want to say that was like 2020-ish, if I'm not mistaken. So I've been through a lot of different iterations of the Kurtis images, and I feel like I always have a little bit of disappointment when it comes to the face. So the chin, not my favorite. There always tends to be ABs in the skin, which also isn't something that I personally love. Could I have left those out? Yes, I definitely could have grabbed some regular drills out of my spare drill storage. Like, I definitely could have done something to change that. I chose not to, so I'm not really talking about the ABs at this point. The biggest thing for me is the chin. I don't know. I don't know if it could have been like blended a little bit better, but then again, the rendering is going off of the artist's original artwork. So I don't want to harp on that too much. It's just something that I did want to mention to you guys. Something that was really fun about this one is there was actually 2 crystals. So there are some red crystals in her lips, which I love. I think that looks so pretty. And then there was yellow crystals. So her eyes are yellow crystals. And then this little bat guy, I don't know if you guys can see him. This little bat guy over here also has some crystals in his eye. So really cute. All in all, I really, really did enjoy this diamond painting. Lots of color blocking, lots of dark colors, a ton of 310, lots of 310, lots of dark blues. And I think her hair is fantastic. I like that her hair is so neon green with the dark background. I think it just looks really, really pretty. An honorable mention to this little skull face guy that's hanging down from her hat. I think he's very cute as well. As far as like the poured glue, didn't have any issues with that. I usually don't. With Dreamer Designs canvases, I tend to enjoy their poured glue. I think it's kind of just the right amount of tackiness. It's not so over sticky that you can't get your drills off, but it's not lacking the adhesive that things are sliding all around. So I had a good experience with that. The drill field itself, there were a couple of symbols that I found to be a little confusing. So, oops, of course I didn't write them down. So let me take a quick second here. There was 2 music notes. Let me see if I can find them. Shoot, where are they? Here's one, and where's the other one? Wait, where's the other one? Yeah, here it is. Okay. I'm like, wait, is there actually not 2 music notes? So they are different music notes, but the colors on the canvas were very, very close. I'm someone who works on my canvas right side up half of the way, and then when I hit the halfway mark, I flip it around. So all the symbols are upside down at that point. And this did trip me up a couple of times. I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't seem like this is right. So those got me a couple of times. And then, what was the other one? I think it was, darn, why didn't I write it down? Shoot. I wish I had written it down. Oh, here it is. It's this one, and where's your friend? Note to self, write it down in the future, Laura. Why can't I find it now? Oh, here it is. These two symbols, now they are somewhat different. This one is a green and this one is a gray, but on the canvas, they were kind of printed so small that you had to really get in there. Like, you had to be paying attention to the background color. It was very easy to mix these up. I think I was working on a section with 415 and I grabbed 3052 and I laid a couple drills down and I was like, wait a minute, this isn't right. So there were a couple of drills also not the same color, but they did have some of the like semicircles repeated, which is fine. Just something that I wanted to note. Also a couple of just unique symbols. I feel like they're kind of unique to Dreamer Designs. I don't work with them a ton. We had this one. We had these two, which were interesting. Nothing crazy, but definitely something that I wanted to note with those couple of symbols. I do feel like they were pretty close. And then 918 and 920, sorry about that, which are right next to each other, are both triangles. They are opposite sides, and one is blacked out and the other is not. But on the canvas, these colors looked nearly identical, so it was definitely easy to kind of mix up those if you were not paying attention to them. For my trash drills, which I forgot to grab, so hold on 1 second. Here they are. I do feel like I had a pretty decent amount of trash. A lot of it was 310, which, you know, happens. Most of it was like extra little tiny pieces. I just dropped one somewhere. So if you look at these three, they're not drills, they're just extra little pieces of material. And I also had some drills that just had the extra resin or whatever this material is that pools at the bottom. But again, I dropped it again. Nothing too crazy, and I had plenty of drills. I was not worried about running out of anything. Now, for my accessories, I used this Halloween tape. It has little bats. This is from Amanda Michelle Designs. For my containers, I use this lime green. This is from the brand MT. I actually had a couple of questions about the size washi tape that I use on my containers. I believe this is 3mm, and I got a huge set off of Amazon years and years and years ago when I was into planning, like washi tape and stickers in a physical planner. I don't do that anymore, so I was happy to be able to repurpose this set into diamond painting. I don't think this particular set is available anymore, but again, I do think it's a 3mm tape. My putty is from Excuse Me Designs. This is in My Ghoul Friend. My pen is from Jim's Handmade Pen Shop, lime green, and this is purple. Not as blue as the canvas itself, but I couldn't pass up the opportunity to use this lime green pen. My tray is from Bella Art de Nicole. It is a lime green. And then this cover minder I actually got as a freebie from Bijou Bliss Designs in a previous order, and it kind of just fit the vibe. So that's going to do it for today's post review. I will go ahead and pop up another full-length image for you guys here so you can see it from a distance. Let me know how you feel about this one. I am happy I worked on it. I do think she's really pretty. A little disappointed in some aspects of the rendering, but overall I think she turned out really cute. And again, I'm glad I was able to fit her into my schedule this year. So that's going to do it for Post Review Friday. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!